The MBA application form. You know, all of those short answers and fields that you have to complete through the online portal that you created for each school. That's what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to address why the MBA application form has become more important than ever in the MBA admissions process. And then I'm going to tackle 3 FAQs, the most common questions that I receive about the MBA application form. Hey everyone, I'm Melody Jones, founder and president of Vantage MBA Admissions Consulting. And the MBA application form has really amplified in importance in the MBA admissions process over the last 5 or 6 years. And that is directly correlated with the reduction in word count in the long form essays. Over the last 5+ years, schools have really reduced the number of essays and the length of the essays that they ask applicants to write as part of the process. And as a result, they're leaning that much more on the application forms in order to gather all of the information and the data that they need from each applicant. And so what that means is how you answer those questions and how you leverage the real estate is that much more important than it's ever been. So what are the most common questions that we get about the MBA application forms? So the first one is really around work experience, right? You've spent a lot of time perfecting your MBA resume. So why do you have to once again answer what seem to be potentially redundant questions in the application form about your work history? I mean, don't they already have it from your resume? Well, the answer is yes, they do. But what you want to focus on in this part of the application is going to depend a little bit on you and your background and your experience. So I'm going to use 2 sort of opposing examples here. Number 1 is, let's say you're a management consultant or an investment banker, right? What you do is the same high level as any other investment banker or consultant from your company, right? And so what you want to leverage this section to do is not just provide a broad overview of your roles and responsibilities. You want to dig into something unique or special that you've done in your role, a unique aspect of your responsibility, maybe a unique case or project that you've worked on, or an opportunity you've had maybe to be more client-facing than your peers at your bank. And so you really want to hone in on what are the particular aspects of your experience that are going to differentiate you from others in a similar applicant pool, similar role. On the opposite side, if you have a very unique, a very technical background, what we'll call non-traditional background as an applicant, use the application form to really explain in layman's terms, in simple language, what you do and why it matters to your organization. That way, in combination with your resume, the AdCom is going to understand exactly what you've did and why it's important and why it's relevant. Okay. Second question is about awards. A lot of times I'll have clients say, hey, I don't really have any awards, or what constitutes an award? And most programs in their application will separate it from college awards and then post-college awards, and some will even actually ask you about awards in a professional setting and awards in an extracurricular setting. And I just want to put your mind at ease here that you do not have to fill out this section if you don't have awards. And don't stress, I have had plenty of clients get into top MBA programs without awards in every section or without awards in any section for that matter. So if you have awards, yes, enter them, absolutely. But if you don't sweat it and don't make up something just to fill up the space. All right. And then the last section that I just want to quickly address is about extracurriculars, because once again, you've listed ideally 1, 2, maybe 3 extracurriculars already on your resume. So should you repeat the same ones in the application form? And honestly, it really depends on what other extracurriculars you left off and what is the overall story that you're trying to tell in your application. But I will say this, almost all MBA programs will give you more real estate to discuss your extracurriculars and your activities than your resume leaves room for. And so use this space, use this opportunity to maybe highlight some of the things maybe that you did in college that weren't as high up on the priority list to fit on your resume, but you still want the admissions committee to know about. This would be another chance also to bring to life maybe a hobby or something that fell in the interest section of your resume, but you wanted to go into more detail. An example of this is a client of mine who's currently or was pursuing their pilot's license when they were going through the application process. This just fell in as 1 or 2 words in the interest section of their bullet point, but they did use one of the activities in the application form to talk about getting their pilot's license, what was the impetus for pursuing this, and how many hours they'd logged so far as a pilot. And that just added extra dimension to their candidacy and just made them that much more interesting, right? And it was something their interviewer actually brought up during the interview when it came to that. So hope this is helpful. The application form is a doozy. Sometimes there's conditional logic in there that makes new questions appear once you answer an initial question. So do not leave it to the last minute. Like I said in the article, please, please, please proofread. Do not forget to proofread and make sure that all of your answers are error-free. And wishing you the best of luck with this very important part of your MBA applications. See you soon.